It's Chris Kepler, and welcome to my newest podcast. And it is Curing the Starving Artist Syndrome: How to Make More Than Chump Change Without Feeling Icky. And today I'd like to welcome Michaell Magruch.
Thank you, Chris. Good to see you.
Yeah, the author of The Smart of Art, a new art consciousness to awaken our enthusiasm for art.
Yes.
So, how are you doing today, Michaell?
I'm doing great. And, we're working on this together for a while.
Yes,
we Not just for ourselves, but for, the phenomenon of here is everything in this world is created, right?
Yes.
And the highest form of art, which doesn't have a purpose, right? So if I create a new Nike shoe, I'm limiting already my creativity. I'm just focusing, getting it to that funnel to make a shoe, make an iPhone, make this.
Yes.
So the highest form of where I stand in front of a blank canvas or a space to create some music or some words that you do, is the highest form, because we just have a conversation with our non-physical and we're creating. And 97% of artists worldwide don't have existing on the poverty line, around the poverty level. They're not starving, but they are starving. And then I think the starving artist syndrome is like, if you can't be famous, be infamous.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
so you make it, your ego makes it proud to say, I love that I have no food to eat. I love that I have to worry about where I live. And that's around the world. But I think that's just justifying, because the ego cannot be satisfied with the product. So this was the question before I wrote The Smart of Art and did my podcast, which is 20 seconds, where you can actually free all the starving artists. Go there.
Yeah.
You just listen to one quote and then digest it, because they are all seeds. They're all seeds, so you become conscious.
Where do people find your podcast?
On every platform. On every
platform. What's the name?
The Smart of Art, like
Smart
the book.
Of Art. Okay, great.
But it also has a secondary title, the power of art and creativity.
Okay, great.
So that is 20 seconds per episode. You just listen to it when you wake up, and there's a question for you. There's no steps, nothing to learn, nothing to write down. You just listen it and just go on with your day. It will open up when you do the next time you create art. And so, because I also try to bring two things together, and here you see how creative we artists are, because I'm really upset that there's no mentoring going on, because we are all focusing on the art product. And I was unaware when I started the book that there is actually a confusion in us artists, where we think the art world is about this mystical thing of art. Art is as mystical as the universe is. It's human. Humans are mystical, because there's 8 billion people, and they're all different. So it's and you make that an ego issue, because then, this is the new artist and you need to buy him and whatever. But it is, again, it's just a system promise. What's really valuable is the creation of art. And when you feel poor while you're creating and you're focusing on, I'm going to make this in blue because I know blue right now is the hottest color and blue is going to sell.
Yeah.
Right. And tomorrow it's yellow. You paint all your art is yellow, and then there's red. Yeah. So I think the problem is with that starving artist system is, number one, I was blaming the systems for it, but on the other side of systems are humans too. So we are just blinded. And we are currently, obviously, you see that in the world, we are in a consciousness crisis. And we are just blinded from it. And I thought, the system is just picking out the plums and just discarding the rest. Yeah. And that's not true. It's sometimes true, but it's not, talent is always challenged, but the talent is not aware. once the talent is aware, everything is handled beforehand. The stuff is handled. You get your money, you get half the money at least, and then there's no problem. And I always say to artists, cover your costs with at least the first half. Cover your costs so you don't feel when you don't get the second half, or you get only a quarter of the second half, you're not going to be starving. At least cover your.
Yeah.
So that's one tip that I give that is logical. So the other thing is, because it's still a deal, the system can say, Chris, it's great, it costs that much money, but it's not worth it. Or, wow, I didn't know it was so cheap. So it's still a negotiation about a price. And what I think is to get clear on that starving artist, be aware that when you milk the moment, that's what I say. I'm here to milk the moment with you of creation, because you and I creating right now. We're creating more consciousness, more awareness. You had a question, I answered. Then you have another question. Then when I speak, I hear my own self-talk and learn something too. It's not just like I come here as the big pasha and I give you all the wisdom that I have. No, we work forever, and we just talk, and in the talk we create wisdom, knowledge, awareness, and have tips for each other. Hey, go to this spot. When how often did I ask you, where should I go? What should I do?
Yeah.
So one thing is to see the art product and the art creation. The art creation is really the awareness thing. Let me give you an example. I can say that your podcast is the best podcast in the world. I can say your podcast is the worst podcast in the world. I can negate that you have a podcast, but I cannot take away that you did 100 episodes of podcasts. I cannot take the fact away. But that's your, I can judge your podcast, but I cannot. That's why art is so powerful. It's like, I don't like your narrations, or I love them, but it doesn't matter. The fact is, you did narrations, you do narrations, you do voiceovers, you do voiceover work, voice acting, and the fact that you're doing is so powerful. It's not, but a lot of artists throw that away. They throw, because they can't sell it, because it's all focused in their creation. They don't milk the moment. They focus, will I sell? Will I sell? I hope I sell. Okay, 97% of artists are poor. You totally limit your experience of creating. And then you don't have the success that you expected. It's a downward spiral from there on.
Yeah.
Because it really doesn't matter if you sell it or not. That's the icing on the cake, the selling. If you can't see that, you shouldn't be in art. If it's about money, go in the financial business. If it's about art, if you don't have a passion, or you can milk the moment, you're not able to milk the moment because you need to feed your family, then do like what I did. Get a restaurant job or do something. I mean, I was my whole life in restaurant jobs, in hospitality or hotels, that you can actually do that discipline that is so. And if you are not willing to do that, you're not seeing the value of creating art. It's not like you are lazy and see, this is the misunderstanding. You have to put everything in your art to be good. No, because the best songs are written in 15 minutes. The best. Best painting. So it's not that I have to be knowing everything about art, doing a lot of art, doing my discipline, do this course, do that course, get this coach, get that coach. That is not it. You got to just do it. So I did the, Spielberg screenwriting school class. And that was a long time ago when he came out with it. And my first book is a screenplay. And what I loved, Linda, the teacher telling us, she said, don't think that you got to write the masterpiece. And the first time I learned something about art creation, about in the system, how you can actually navigate the system better, said, create one script after the other. And if they pick up the last script or the second of last script or whatever, you sell the other one. That's how system economics works.
Yeah.
You have the big Goodwill Hunting script, all of a sudden they buy all the scripts from you. And you need to be, it's an awareness. The whole thing is an awareness. And it's awareness about creating. So not just make the masterpiece, like you make a watch in the system of things. You make you fabricate something that has to be a car or something, which is also art, and you just make the best car better than any other car. It's a copy, but better than any other. That's in the system. When you work in the system, you have funding, you have a thing. But in creation, you need to be unique. You need to not a copy. What is paid is oh my God, I never saw it in this way. I read this book and it changed my perception. This poem made me cry. Those are things you want to have from your thing. And you know what? If you didn't get rich with the poem, but if you know, I was truthful and honest with that poem, it just came to me and I wrote it, and it affected people in a way. I mean, what can be better? You want to be relevant? That's relevant. It's not that you have 100,000 followers and 8 of 10 followers are robots. That you're lying to yourself. That's the false hope. That we going into the false hope and then relying on the false hope. We love to have false hope because we can't figure it out other way, and say, at least I have that false hope. And then nothing happens, and then you get in a downward spiral, and then you stay a starving artist, and you suffer, and you sacrifice yourself for that discipline, and it is devastating when I see my friends, sitting in the car and then sleeping in the car and then be upset. See, if I was when I was in that situation, I slept in the car, but I was happy. I was so happy that I could create the next day. Yeah. And there's a difference between those things. Not that when are they buying? That was secondary. It's I mean, I have 5 books, and I always say that to everybody, because you not believe the system lies. I've wrote 5 books, and I'm very known on social media and so on. And I made, I think, $60 last year or 70 from all 5 books. And it's not about that. It's about this rediscovering you when you create, because you can't take that away.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like, when I do an audition, and it's nice. I had a Zoom audition a few months ago, and I got great feedback from the director and producer. Liked what I was doing. And so did I get the part? No. But I felt good about the fact that I got good feedback. I knew I was doing the right thing, but then you just, maybe who they hired had totally gray hair, and that's what they needed. Yeah. So, and so I have been, as an actor and voice actor, concentrating on just doing the best performance that I can give when I do an audition, and not going beyond that, spending time making sure I do the best performance, and then not worrying about it after that.
That you can do, not that Maggie
Smith. I can do.
Not to copy Maggie Smith, but that you can do.
That I can do, yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
it's not that you can do like others do, or George Clooney does. No, I can only be me, especially in the arts. In the arts, you can only be you. There's no, you can't just copy somebody.
No.
Then just do a copy of Mick Jagger. That's great. I mean,
yeah. Why would you want to be like somebody else? I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So I like the art behind you. Is that one of your?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
And I made it for Zoom. Like
wow.
Zoom background.
Nice.
It's not a painting, it's a Zoom background that I created digitally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I wanted to have unique, and you know, I have every time I have a different.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
fun to see what you're. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, no,
Digitally
I did
create
it. I did it in a Corel Draw or Adobe, but I did it for the purpose. I didn't do a painting of it, you know, and I have stopped doing paintings. I'm doing most things digital because you can't. This is another thing. You cannot believe that everybody has white walls. Painters often believe everybody has white walls and they're just waiting for my paintings to hang up, you know.
Yeah.
And it's that's another false hope. So I create mostly digital. I switched over to digital, and then I can create it in, you know, on a canvas, or also in the size. I can size it. So I use system dynamics to do the process more. You know, that's, you know, how do I do the best process for what I can do, and which is the fastest and as the most efficient, not the fastest. Excuse me. And then I do all these digital paintings. And if somebody says that resonates with me, I want that, I say how big, how big, I price it, and then sell it. That's because
wow,
it's
nice, yeah.
Because if you had, I had a friend that had a little one. I have a real big one, original, and he says, "Yeah, I want this." And I said, "How? What do you? What size do you want it? Because I can make it any size."
Yeah.
And he says, "Make it, you know, this by this." I can't remember, 2 feet by 2 feet. Yeah, but it was what was it? 6 feet by 6 feet or 7 feet.
Whoa.
And he said, so what I did is once I knew it, I made that small for him, and then I sent it to him. So it was perfect. He didn't have the space for the 6-7 foot, you know, he didn't have that.
But but
But
really
once you paint it, it's done. And then you sit on it and say, I would have loved to buy it, but I couldn't, because I couldn't put it. And I did hear that a lot. And I gave 75 paintings of mine away because I moved to another place, and I didn't want to pay for storage all the time. I said,
no kidding. Yeah.
See, it's one thing after the other. It's creating. I want to be a painter. I want to be a painter. If you want to be a painter, you can do it with anything. And it's never. I got a girl modeling contract, and I shot it with a $100 camera. So this is the artist in you that takes this and can make something out of it. Doesn't need, because everybody buys, you know, the best podcasting equipment, the best thing. And I'm not talking about professionals like you, but most people buy, you know, all this equipment, and then they can't make, and there's no ROI, there's no return on investment.
Yeah.
And that's why we are poor, if that answers your question, you know.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's wow, that's a good idea to do. And digitally, it's so much easier to show people what you're doing. And then that's a great idea. Wow.
In the old, I mixed every color, and I painted let's say the part blue in the old times. All the times, you know, I said this would be great. I have this imagination. This is a big, or I just bought big canvases, and then say, okay, open the next one, you know, new project, and do it. And then there was a blue part and a red part. The red part I got, the blue one didn't work with the red correctly. So I had to just sometimes 3-4 times mix new colors because my imagination didn't work. In digital, I can tweak the color very fast. I have a number, you know, a Pantone color, and then just make the color. So, you know, you have a color spectrum, and once you have the number, you know, this is this number from red, this is the red number from blue, and then you just recreate it. You know?
Wow, cool, great. Wow, that's nice. So what, when I look at currently at artists succeeding in bridging the artistic and the, you know, marketing world, selling their art, I think of Banksy. What do you think? What's your opinion on that?
Banksy is a pure, first of all, he's super creative, figuring out a way in the monopoly system to be relevant. That's the answer. He figured out a way, not like Elon Musk that buys one hotel after the other and be a real player in the monopoly game.
Yeah.
But if you can be, as an artist, navigate through the monopoly game and be relevant. And therein is the artistic uniqueness of Banksy. It's like, Jeff Koons, the balloon animals.
Yes.
He has that. Their art is business. They're like Damien Hirst, and it has nothing to do with the quality of what they do, because it's knowing how to do business, how to navigate in a system as a creative. And there's very few of Elon Musk. It's not like, and see that you need to also, as a starving artist, you need to take away the lie, the system lie that says, oh, I am Jeff Koons. I'm not, but I am Jeff Koons. You can do it too. No, you can't. It's like, I am Elon Musk. You can do it too. This like, and all the array of coaches and the consultants and all this stuff. If success was a formula, trust me, everybody would use the formula. Everybody is different. There's 8 billion people and everybody is unique. There is no normal. The system could never even define what is normal, what is inside the bell curve, the median in the bell curve. There is no normal. So a success for you is different than for me.
Yeah.
It also has different connotation. It has different feelings that for you or for me, let's say, it would be, okay, I reached that quarter. I said I'm going to make $2,000 with my art by the end of the month, and I made it. For you, and I could have suffered, and the end would have justified the means.
Yeah.
And for you, you say, hey, I don't care what I make. I want to have a good time. I want to be fulfilled. Like the human success is the fulfillment. That's that feeling after orgasm. If you guys don't know what fulfillment is, it's just right after the orgasm. That fulfilling is the world is okay. I'm okay. Everything is okay. And when you focus on success, being successful, I think it's more relevant to be fulfilled. Because let's say you make only $60,000, yeah, and you are fulfilled. Why do I need $1 billion? If I'm fulfilled with $60,000, see, the billion doesn't do it. It is about the fulfillment, and that's why you have so many billionaires killing themselves, getting wacky or whatever. Because they thought the better I am in the system, in the monopoly, if I win the monopoly system, I will be fulfilled. No, you won the monopoly system, but you didn't, which is great. No, it's great. It's great. You got an Oscar, you got the Emmy, you got what you in the system, you got be the richest man in the world in the system. But are you human-wise fulfilled? And I think we have such a potential artist. I talked about this today in England about this. We have such a potential as humans, as artists, to be relevant in a time right now where everybody's confused. Because I keep saying, when you read about me, I say we are in a consciousness crisis, not in an economical crisis. We are in a consciousness crisis because we have forgotten over generations of conditioning that we are a part of nature, a species of nature. We think we are neither in the systems, we are neither in the nature. We don't really. I mean, when have you heard the last time it says, I'm a species? I'm like, you never hear that. Because people are not. People think they are above nature. That's why we want to save nature. See, nature doesn't need saving. Nature, the Mayans, the Egyptian, the civilization have eradicated themselves, and the dinosaurs were killed, and nature just kept moving on.
Yeah,
so nature doesn't need saving. Our habitat in nature needs to be saved in a way that our grandchildren can also come here for this short time that we're here and can enjoy this beautiful earth. But we don't have to save nature. We are not the gods of nature. We are the gods of systems. And those we leave alone. It's funny. We don't, and this is, we don't adapt the systems to humans.
No.
We adapt to systems. We die for systems. 200,000 people in Russia. It's we die for systems. We give our life, and nobody in the world ever wanted war. Never, ever did anybody want war.
No.
Because we have lost where we belong. We belong to nature, and no system has created us. Actually, if there's no humans, systems are irrelevant. So we are high on the pecking order. Nature's number one. We are species of nature. We are number two. And if we are aware of that, if we become aware of that and compartmentalize that, there is nothing to learn. There's not 3 steps. There's nothing to recondition. It's just being aware. Hey, we're part of nature. And then remind yourself, nature is perfect. It always adapts. Whatever happens, it adapts. It's millions of years old. A lot older than we are, It always adapts. It always is in harmony. It's always in balance. And it doesn't make any mistakes. Science says it doesn't make any mistakes. Science can even figure out nature. And if science makes no mistake, the elephant in the nature is exactly the same value as the ant has. Your existence, that you are part of nature, your existence, that you are living, is the proof that you are worthy. You might not have system value, monopoly value. But the fact that you are a living being is the fact that you are worthy in nature. That's why the ant and the elephant don't say, oh, I wish I was the ant, I wish I was the elephant. They are both have their part, and there's a higher part. So we could figure that out because we can actually be self-aware, and we have the tool to be aware and say, we could actually find out why. And I have no education. I'm neurodiverse, I'm dyslexic and dysgraphic. And I've learned everything from art creation and other humans, of course, but mostly I didn't get any education. And from writing the 5 books, that was my diving deep, looking at art creation, getting more insights, and artists and the potential. I'm expressing that potential. I'm preaching what I preach.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys see the potential of that we can be the interface of humanity, the shamans that guide you. We're not the gods. We are not the better than you, but we can be the shamans and explain to you how you could create and why creation is what I do. Explain. It's value. It's not just the product. My paintings are fun. I know my paintings make me happy too, but it's not about that. It's about the creation process. And then you can say, do you, and my constantly being in from a non-physical and the physical, and non-physical is when you sleep. So from your non-physical to the physical, that in communication, the better that gets. That as a creative, you think about, oh, I want to do this. And you want to do the podcast, right? And then it comes this. I say, I can make this, and I'm gonna put this on. And then while you're doing it, you still have it because your podcast is changing. Remember, you started. You're still communicating. You're trying things out. Some things are logical, but you have to sense it. Did this work? Do I feel that people have more fun? Not just, do I have all of a sudden 100,000 people that listen to me? It's the fulfillment still there.
Yes, it is. And that's what I enjoy. That's the fulfillment of the creative process for me. It's like, wow, I came up with a title, and then I came up with a picture, and then it's like, I enjoyed that, and that's
awesome.
That is the joy of creating. So that's but
It's
you know,
fulfilling.
yeah, it is. It's very fulfilling. Unfortunately, when then people don't, I don't have a lot of people listening or a lot of people interacting, then that takes away somewhat from it, because I like to talk with more people or interact with more people about what I'm doing. And so
8 billion
that's,
people. 8 billion
yeah,
people.
yeah, I do. I have a tendency to get more fulfillment right now from my writing, because I write on Medium and I get more feedback there.
Hmm?
And actually, I'm starting to get more feedback on my YouTube channel, because it's easier. It's not easy to comment on a podcast through many of the podcast apps, but it's fairly easy to comment in YouTube.
Hmm.
So,
But Chris, the thing is, let's say you have 20 people. I mean, just observe yourself. I mean, I'm
yeah.
observing myself. So I
Yeah.
wanted that I always have a Twitter okay or this okay. And then you have it, but it's so short-lived. It's
Yeah.
so you always need more because it's so short-lived. And to get your fulfillment from that versus from what we're doing right now, from
Yeah.
interacting. So
Yeah.
this is the juice. This
Yeah.
is your life juice.
Yeah.
The icing, you need to see everything you do. And you know what can happen, the universe has time. And the time is when the time could be like artists, a lot of artists die before people discover them.
Yeah.
But it could be also time related. It could be in 2 months they find our group on Alignable, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so it doesn't it is not that easy because there is 8 million and there's another a blind spot. Not everybody is on social media. Not everybody, and all the big shots are not on social media.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
few big shots,
Yeah.
aliens on social media, and and the, on Twitter, and Jeff Bezos and stuff. But they're just on the media because to see what's going on and how the climate is,
Yeah.
out there. They're not on there to post or get accolades,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 Well, thanks so much. That was great
you're welcome.
talking about this. And yeah, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, we can do that anytime.
Yeah. Yeah, I made some great points. So I will probably see you soon at one of our Creative Arts Business Coalition meetings on Alignable. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.